Welcome to Frequent Traveler TV. Today's topics. Airbus started to build the first A350 freighter. Good thing. Then we have news from Amsterdam and trying to get rid of flights to save the environment. But the court said no. Next topic, we have a deal zone deal with Lufthansa from Spain via Frankfurt to New York, 1,699 euros. Then we do have Lufthansa as well, as they got rid of Lufthansa Sky Chefs. Unfortunately, I don't like it. Next topic. Do you want sometimes that the pilots have more fire under the seat? Maybe, but not in this case because it was a Cobra. Full story coming. And we do have Amsterdam. We have, of course, another Dutch airport, Aachen, Maastricht. They have flight plan for the summer published. Not a lot, but kind of interesting as I'm coming from Aachen originally. First topic, Airbus is starting to do the final cut, metal cut for the first A350F. They have started now officially the production of the aircraft, and the structural parts are now being in process, that we can think that we will get the aircraft in 2024 to sea with the first flights for testing. And the center wing box is one of the first elements which is produced. And for that they have this kind of a cross-shaped connecting piece which is connecting the wing box and the body on the sides. So those are already produced. It is traditionally the first component which is going to be produced for a new aircraft. And they had to change something for the freighter. It's not one-to-one a copy-paste of the passenger version, because the frame structure, which has an aluminum-lithium combination, had to be made stronger in the upper part, as the main deck of the 350 will have to endure more payload. And that is, of course, another problem when you see how you make or produce from a 350 maybe a freighter later. So that is not possible. They have stronger metal splints on the floor that they can carry the heavier and most likely even punctually heavier containers and pallets. That is what you of course need. The next steps which are going to be done is of course the structure, and they will do the next things on the way by ground, because it's coming from Montoire de Bretagne, where the middle section will be produced. And this will happen in the coming months, of course. And the first flight, like I said, in 2024, the biggest customer will be Air Lease Corporation, Singapore Airlines, Etihad Cargo, who all ordered 7 of those 350F. In Europe, only CMA CGM, Air France and Martinair KLM Cargo has ordered 4 of the aircraft. And Silkway West Airlines from Azerbaijan has 2. So we were looking forward for the new member in the family. It was a long and interesting ride to see how Airbus was wiggling its way towards this aircraft. Now, if you are living in Maastricht or in Aachen, and I know that we have Wings and Rails who's watching that most likely, Ryanair is going to fly from Aachen, or Maastricht-Aachen airport, I have to say, because it's in the Netherlands actually, and Aachen has no airport. If I say Berlin has no airport, Aachen has of course no airport as well. They'll fly with Ryanair to Croatia, to Spain, which is Alicante and Barcelona, Italy, England and Portugal. With Corendon you can go on holiday to Greece, Rhodes, Zakynthos and Heraklion, Turkey, Bulgaria and Macedonia. That are 12 destinations, and that will be kind of interesting, I think, that you can get from the region there. But if you have to get rid of Amsterdam, that is of course a close option, most likely the closest option if I'm not mistaken. Anyways, there's a court case which has been ruled in favor of KLM. As the airport Amsterdam Schiphol said, that they want to reduce the aircraft movements, takeoffs and landing maximum 500,000 in November to 460,000 to get the reduction of carbon dioxide and, of course, noise levels down. But like always, come on. If you're living near an airport and most likely you have been buying the house cheaper and everything and now complaining about the noise, that makes no sense. It's the same like people who are moving to the countryside and then complaining that it smells like cow shit. Anyways, the court says, of course, that the government has decided, but to reduce the flights is in this case not that's such a good idea, because the court said no. The government did not go by the law. And KLM and 4 other companies have made a lawsuit, and they had said that the government has not checked on alternatives, and to reduce the number of flights could even go against European law. Schiphol is one of the most important points for international traffic in the Netherlands, and they are really convinced that the noise levels and the carbon dioxide which will be blown out will be, with the 500,000, can be even lowered as well, because aircrafts get more efficient. And you see the same in Leipzig airport, where they increased the fees for aircrafts which are more noisy and more environmentally unfriendly. So that is a way. Anyways, now it is that way that night flights and private jets will be forbidden in the next step in 2025 at the end of the year. And the airline is, of course, fighting against it, because what does it mean? KLM cannot grow then anymore. And one thing comes to the light. Sir Timothy Clark of Emirates Airlines always said, you will be very sad when the 380 is not flying. And when you have capacity-constrained airports, and it's not only because of environmental things. London, for example, they don't have more space, they don't have more runways, they have not more things they can do to accommodate more takeoffs and landing. Then you need bigger aircraft. We will see that. Lufthansa got rid of Lufthansa Sky Chef. Lufthansa Sky Chef is the catering part of Lufthansa, or was the catering part, because Lufthansa was doing their own food like other airlines are doing. For example, Emirates Airlines has in Dubai one of the biggest facilities to produce meals in aviation. It's not only in Dubai at the airport, it's outside in Jumeirah. They produce, I think, economy class foods as well. And they said they signed a sales contract with Target to get rid of the whole situation and get it to the new investor Aurelius in the Q3. And it is, of course, not the European part, because that has already been sold to Gate Gourmet in 2019, which is a Swiss company. Now we are talking about everything with this outside Europe. There are 131 LSG catering facilities. They are doing, of course, the onboard duty-free sales as well, with 19,000 employees. Lufthansa wants to concentrate more on their aviation endeavors, and so they want to sell actually partly of their maintenance, Lufthansa Technik. And they want to improve the profit margins. That is the reason. I don't know if that is a right idea, but we will see how that works out for them. Cape Town, South Africa. There was an emergency landing, and that was a proper fast emergency landing, because the pilot did fly a Cobra under his seat. And there were in this small aircraft 4 passengers on a domestic flight between 2 small cities, when he felt something cold. And that is something where I think I would have been freaking out. The pilot, Rudolf Erasmus, looked down, and then he saw a rolled together Cobra under his seat. And the problem is, if the Cobra bites you, that is neurotoxic problem for you, because within 30 minutes, between 30 minutes and 4 hours, it can be deadly. And on a flight, that is a shitty situation. And Erasmus was celebrated as a hero because he had iron nerves, like you say in German, eiserne Nerven. After a moment of being astonished or flabbergasted or whatever you call it in English, he informed the passengers about the emergency landing, but he didn't want to make a panic. The flight was at this time of the flight 3,300 feet. It was a small aircraft. The Beechcraft Baron, which is a two-engine, piston engine aircraft, they were landing smooth and safely on the airport of Welcome. I even don't know where this is, but that is South Africa. The passengers did leave the aircraft slowly and got in safety. The blind passenger, is it blind passenger? I mean, in German it's blinder Passagier, and at least it was the unwelcomed guest, was gone, disappeared. They are still searching for it on the airfield, but as you know, in Africa, they have enough hiding, and I hope the Cobra will have a prosperous, long life. Finnair is a topic which we have to discuss as well, and we have to look at the press release. Finnair is to discontinue 2 of its shortest domestic flights due to economic and environmental considerations. Finnair will cease flying 2 of its shortest domestic routes, replacing air service between its Helsinki hub and the cities of Turku and Tampere. At least in Tampere you have, to my knowledge, Air Baltic as an option, so you don't have to connect through Helsinki. Finnair has already replaced its midday flights from these cities with bus connections to lower the CO2 footprint of the routes. Road and rail options are more environmentally sustainable option for connecting these 2 cities. As I saw in my Finnair Plus insider group already, people are not happy. They say they will drive themselves, which would be environmentally not a big help as well. But what to say, that is what it is. And Pertti Jolma, Vice President Network, said the flights to Tampere and Turku are very short, and the relatively low passenger numbers, around 35% load factors on these routes, cause them to have a higher CO2 emission than other flights. Of course, if the aircraft is not full, it's of course a problem. We understand that this decision disappoints customers who have used the flight, and we regret the inconvenience this causes them. We must, however, take both economic and environmental considerations into account. And the scheduled flight time Turku and Tampere is 35 minutes, but the actual flight time is about 25. Most customers arriving at Helsinki Airport for Finnair flights, for example from Tampere region, already come by bus, train or car. This was already the case before the COVID-19 pandemic. 70% of Finnair Plus members with home address in Tampere started their flights from Helsinki Airport. You thought about it, rather than from Tampere, despite the several daily flights available. During the summer of 2023, Finnair will operate 4 bus services per day between Turku and Helsinki Airport, 4 bus services per day between Tampere and Helsinki Airport. I understand that some people are not happy with this, because when you land, you have to wait for the bus to schlep your things. That is, of course, kind of unfortunate, but yeah, what should I do? That is the situation, and you can comment down if this is something which is considering you, if you're coming from Tampere, or if you say it's not your problem. Anyways, bus connection can be purchased together with the connecting flight, with the bus connection included in the booking. Finnair also guarantees connection in case bus or flight schedules are delayed. In addition, customers arriving by bus to Helsinki Airport can use priority check-in, backdrop and security for smooth connection. The buses run on biodiesel and have internet connectivity and USB charging possibilities for convenience. That is the full press release. Yeah, that is thing. Finnair says, of course, as well, should you have a ticket, then you can apply for a refund. Now we have a deal zone deal for you. Today I will give you the routing on the map. It is a flight in Lufthansa P class. The Lufthansa P class PV Paula is business class, 1,699 from France, which starts Paris, Nice, or whatever. I did to Nice. And important is that the flight must commence not earlier than the first Sunday after arrival at turnaround. Destination is, of course, as you saw, New York. You can fly New York or you can fly Newark. Both is possible. Even Newark is not anymore in New York. So let us have a look on the screen what we have as distances. 445 miles from Nice to France, to Frankfurt, of course. And from Frankfurt to JFK, it's 3,856 miles, which is 8,602. Then we want to see the miles you get, the miles in P wie Paula. Air China gives the most with 13,980, Singapore Airlines 10,732, Lufthansa and SAS gives you 9,192. Please be aware if you're collecting miles on Lufthansa with a Lufthansa card, you get 25% bonus, but this is only for this year. Next year we will have changes. 8,584 miles, Cobra, Thai, United, Latam. 8138 is Canada, All Nippon is 6,008, Cathay Pacific 892. And we have, of course, some airlines which are there with a zero. And the zero is EFA, then we have Aegean, Asiana, and New Zealand, Ethiopian, Turkish, South African Airlines. Check with your program where you are collecting miles and points. Thank you for watching Frequent Traveler TV. I hope the topics were interesting for you today. If so, do not forget to subscribe, hit the notification button, the bell. It helps us a lot to grow. Comment down, and if you have questions, you can contact me. Thank you, and see you tomorrow for the next episode. I'm out. Thank you. Bye.